Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez called for a snap election in February after the budget of his minority government was rejected. Polling data indicates Sanchez is the front-runner, but his party could be defeated by a coalition of right-wing parties. The last two votes resulted in a hung parliament, and as CGTN's Filio Contrafori now reports from Madrid, an outright winner isn't likely this time around either.
Campaigning for Sunday's election drew to a close Friday, and Socialist Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez made this appeal.
We are very close to achieving a parliamentary majority in order to have a socialist government with independence and recognized prestige, so we continue with a change of course for social justice.
Sanchez is likely to win re-election. His ruling Socialist Party is leading in polls with about 30%. Less likely is the prospect of winning a governing majority. That means they will have to form a coalition. Without a coalition-building history, though, and several divisive issues into play, that could be especially difficult.
They can make a coalition with the more left-wing Podemos party. That seems like a done deal, but they still won't have enough votes to form a government. They're going to need to bring in some of these regional parties, and that means, and that's the major complication in this election.
Since 2015, the dominance of Spain's two main parties has fragmented. This has created political gridlock, with the Socialist PSOE and the Conservative People's Party struggling to form coalition governments. Voters will now choose between 5 different parties. While all polls imply a stronger support for the left, the reality is more complex. Voters in Spain are roughly divided in half between the left and right, which has been further fragmented by the arrival of the far-right Vox party. Vox surged in popularity with its anti-feminist and anti-immigrant views.
On April the 28th, we will choose between the anti-Spain and the real Spain, and we will not allow the destruction or the suicide of Spain.
According to polls, Vox is poised to become the first far-right party to sit in parliament since the Franco dictatorship ended in 1975. Another factor makes Sunday's outcome uncertain. A respected survey shows more than 40% of Spanish voters are undecided.
It's really impossible to know how it's going to turn out on Sunday. And part of it is there's this real pull and tug between the traditional parties, the PSOE, the Socialists, and the PP, the Popular Party, the Conservative Party. So those are the two traditional ones, and a lot of people just don't like him anymore and don't trust him.
Spain has been recovering from a devastating economic crisis. According to surveys, Spanish voters identify unemployment, currently the second highest in Europe, as their biggest concern during this election. Filio Contrafori, CGTN, Madrid.